for the Weekend Family here on YouTube. But for now, stay safe, stay well, and stay curious. Until next time.